Thursday Theology, Pastor Bryan Hopfensperger. Here's another Greek to me. Our reading for the week comes from John chapter 11, and we're going to focus on verse 11. So in our text, we have Jesus and his disciples, in a sense, talking past each other. Or that's at least what it seems like, because Lazarus has died, but Jesus says that he has fallen asleep. And they think that he's talking about just getting some rest. So Luke, as a good narrator, fills us in. No, Lazarus has died. He's dead. But in Jesus, death is not what it seems. Death in Jesus now is nothing more than sleeping. And someone who is sleeping just needs to be woken up. So that then is our Greek to me word this week. The word is ex ipnidzo. In verse 11, Jesus says that Lazarus has fallen asleep and that he is going to awaken him. Ex ipnidzo. Now, our English word, you could probably even hear it there. Our English word, hypnosis, is from that Greek root word, ipnidzo. So to be woken up out of sleep is ex ipnidzo. Jesus is going to waken Lazarus from death, just like waking someone from sleep. So that was helpful for the disciples. He even says that he was glad that he was not there, so that Lazarus, who was sick, would in fact die, so that he could raise him from the dead, and it would be beneficial for his disciples and all the others to see this. But this is also beneficial for us, because this text shows us how we are to understand death as Christ's people. Jesus has overcome death. Jesus is the death of death. So in Jesus, death has lost all of its power and all of its sting. To him, death is nothing more than bodily rest in the grave until the body is raised up from that sleep on the last day, to be given bodily resurrection and bodily life forever. As believers in the resurrected, living Jesus, we now believe this truth. We live in this truth, that death for us, death is sleep, death is rest. And we will be woken up from that rest. Now here, we must understand that we're talking about the body, not the soul. Remember, the soul of the believer is not asleep. The soul is alive in the presence of Jesus in paradise immediately upon death. Then on the last day, when Jesus returns in glory, he's going to raise up the sleeping bodies, and he's going to give eternal life, body and soul, to his believers, and the unbelievers will be cast away forever. Of course, this understanding of death as sleep is going to be mocked by unbelievers. In Matthew 9, verse 24, Jesus goes to the home of the little girl who had died, and he tells the crowd who is weeping and wailing that the girl is not dead, but she's sleeping. And Matthew says that they laughed at him. They laughed at Jesus. Well, you'll be laughed at too for believing that the dead will be raised up bodily. But on the last day, when all the dead are raised, you will be proved right, you will be vindicated. But until that day, we live in the resurrection over sin and darkness even now. As we sing in the hymn, for us Christ lived, for us he died, and conquered in the strife. Arise, awake, go forth in faith, and Christ shall give you life. So there's our Greek to me word for the week. If you've got questions or insights, zip me an email, contact thursdaytheology@gmail.com. Pastor Bryan Hopfensperger, more next time.